Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, an intro where I am sounding super nasal to my ears. I had been 3 minutes into a recording just before this, when suddenly my right sinus just went in on the inside, and then immediately everything started puffing up, and I had to blow my nose, and I'm still like kind of because of that. Why did that happen? I don't know. Do I like the results? Hokey smokes, no. Life is life. I have the fan on in the window, I have the door cracked, I have my bedroom door open with a fan on blowing the cooler air out, I have windows open downstairs to keep the house cool as possible because we're going to be hitting into the midnight. Oh gosh, now this side hurt. Oh joy. We're going to be hitting into the mid-90s around noon today. And then it's only going to slowly cool off. So, oy vey. Great. I sure love dying of heat. Of course, in the morning here it's a little bit chill, so I've got this on. Yay. Still, life is life. I am checking my list here. I do have to apologize for the USB up and down sound that I have been playing at the beginning and ending of my videos. I had to fight real hard not to use that sound a lot at random during my video yesterday because it was like, oh, do I want people to check and see if what disconnected on their computer? That would have been mean and not nice. And I don't want people to not trust my videos, so I fought against that hard. Now, Robert Heinlein, in the middle of last century, science fiction writer, very influential science fiction writer, in one of his books, The Moon is a Harsh Mistress, talking to a sentient computer, teaching this sentient computer, because it starts off really childlike, that there's funny once, funny twice, funny never. And the USB sound going up and down is funny once. So now it's time to retire it because I don't want to ever run it into the ground or make people not trust listening to the videos. So thumbs up for that, just thought I'd mention. And ow, I had arm spasms last night and this arm was yanked off the pillow. The only part of my body that moves while I sleep. Well, I mean breathing and the interior parts, but what I mean is you normally move whenever you sleep. I even mean you when I say you personally. You move when you sleep. When you like have a sore spot on your arm, you'll come to partial wakefulness, move your arm, and then dip back down into full sleep. I don't move. When I go into one position, when I go to sleep, when I wake up, I'm still in that position. I don't move, and it is very, very sore and owie and hurtful. And this arm, when it has spasms, jerks up and then sits on the, propped up against the pillow in such a way that it's lying like this, and ow when I wake up. So, one of the things that does help, now, I have done this before and I tested it again. It's just paying attention. I had a sore spot on my toe. It was sharp. It burned when I walked. I hadn't had cannabis in hours. I smoked a pre-roll. You know what happened? Halfway through that thing, my toe didn't hurt anymore. Son of a gun. I think it was yesterday before I was starting. This was bad when I woke up. So I smoked a joint. Halfway through it, I could function with my arm. Still hurt. I need gabapentin for the nerve pain problems. Before I started, smoked a pre-roll. Took my gabapentin, so it's going to be a while before that kicks in. But cannabis, even without the CBD parts, which is the non-psychoactive, just only does other things for your body, really good things, sort of stuff, they've been breeding out of cannabis because of the whole recreational thing. Luckily, THC itself still does the gabapentin starting to work. still does pain control stuff. And thank goodness for that. And one of the things I had this happen, I talk to myself out loud because it helps, especially if you're thinking creative thoughts. When you're just thinking stuff, that's one process. But if you want to help yourself remember, vocalize, because then your ears hear it and it gets processed through the hearing section of your brain. Helps you remember it. So I vocalize out loud, pretty loud, when I'm here if I have something that's like I want to really explore in a way that I'm not going to forget. And when I'm out walking, all my life I have done acting stuff, and all my life, I mean just on my own, not actually being on stage. I've done stuff to practice, just, hey, it's something I've been interested in. Plus, there's a huge autistic person part of that, because when you act, when you are acting, when you have a mask on, when you're on stage, when you're doing this stuff, you're following a script. Things are in control. You are more in control. By doing this, you don't have to worry about random things happening. You're following a script. So when I'm acting and putting on a mask out there, it makes things so that I have more of a feeling of control without actually having that, because I'm still frightened inside, because I can put on the mask where I am charming and urbane. When I am talking to people, I am wearing that I'm talking to people mask. Inside, I'm still freaked out because of the social anxieties and the social awkwardness, but my mask is, hey, and I'm charming, witty, and urbane. Now, can I remember what I was talking about? Probably not, because I have severe ADHD. I know I was talking about pain and all that. I can't remember exactly, so let me come over here and check out stuff. This has nothing to do with anything, but I was thinking about it yesterday. Creative thoughts. Ah, yes, it was talking about that's why I vocalize. Yes, we'll come back to that. One of the things I've practiced is just talking without moving my lips. Can't do it really well right now. I do this, and I'm just vocalizing, trying to do the whole ventriloquism thing so that I can talk in public and the lips aren't waving all around. So I sub-vocalize when I'm out on walkies that way, so that I can hear the thoughts that I want to remember. My creative stuff involving the voice, the memory, the hearing, that wraps up a whole bunch of various things. That's why if you want to remember something and you don't want to say it out loud in public, write it down. Because then you're involving a whole bunch of other processes that help you remember it, because a whole bunch of other processes are involved. So, thumbs up on that. But I talk out loud here. I vocalize when I'm out, sub-vocalize when I'm out walking, when I got my creative stuff and I don't want to forget it. Now, what was I bringing all that up for? I can't really remember. So, I'm going to go on to this one here. And this is talking about creative stuff as well. Because I used to read the website Cracked a lot before they fired everyone, and it's gone off into other things. I don't even know if the website's there. I watch Cracked videos periodically if they show up, but years ago they did this one movie. They did this one movie, a listicle thing, and then talking about how this one movie was so dark, but there were details that if you thought about it, you'd wonder about. They were standing in this one guy's apartment, and the guy's apartment is trashed. They never explained why the guy's apartment is trashed, and you never see the guy again, so it's never brought up again. Test audiences are why that is so. The person's apartment that they were in, and the thing is, this is a comedy, which is why it didn't resonate well, is this one bad guy started off top of the ladder, and as the movie went along, things kept happening, he kept falling, things kept getting worse. What's supposed to happen is at the bottom of his spiral, they get to the guy's apartment. He's got a pet snake. The apartment's trashed, and it's trashed because his pet snake ate him. Test audiences really didn't like the snake eating the guy because the poor guy just crash, munch. And that didn't resonate well. So they took that scene out. When they go to the apartment, it's trashed. They don't explain why it's trashed. You still never see the guy. So it's still canon that the snake eats him. It's just that they take it out because it upsets the audience. Because you still never see him again. So, but the reason I'm bringing that up is because as unfair as that sort of thing is, and I resonate with the test audience's view on that. It's like, that's unfair. He's fallen all that way. He doesn't get a chance, and then he gets eaten. I still am doing that in one of my cryptid things. I mentioned this ages ago with the introductions of these two characters. I have these two characters, Jimmy and Polly, cryptids. There are urban, human-looking cryptids. Cryptids, no matter how human they act, are still only semi-reasonable and nearly sane when compared to human beings. And they have a desperate, never-stopping hunger for human meat, but you act within your character. So if you don't eat people, you don't eat people. Now, some cryptids have to. Jimmy's one of them. He's a dark cryptid. He has to eat human beings periodically throughout the years, ever so many. His girlfriend, Polly, she's a light cryptid. Light cryptids never have to eat human beings to survive. Dark cryptids do. They're going out and they're looking for someone to eat. Now, I introduce these characters with a homeless guy that they smack down, tear apart, and eat. The thing is, I'm doing just like the in that movie, because this is a guy that you don't get to hear the full backstory, but he was a single guy, had a life, had a fairly good life, did things, had money, ends up with a medical emergency, loses a lot of things, loses his house, ends up having to bump down monetarily and all that, and he ends up in a not good place with not good jobs, but as things keep happening, he ends up down till he's living in his car, but then his car breaks down and he tries to get the money to fix it, but then the cops impound it and you gotta pay for it for a certain amount of time, or they're gonna auction it off to pay for things. He can't get the money to get it back. His car is sold. Now he's really homeless. Loses his job because he can't get there in time. Even on public transport, he'd have to spend all day getting there and then all day getting back with no time to do things like go grocery shopping or eat. And so he's ending up living in the park, and he's a good guy. He wants to do what he can, but life has kicked him down the grease slope and he's sliding. There's no safety rail. He's just desperately trying to catch a hold so that he can get his breath, get his feet, and then start climbing up out of the hole that he's in. And that's when Jimmy and Polly meet him. And Jimmy ends up, now checking my time, Jimmy is cryptids that I write about in my fashion. They are a very, very contradictory and bizarre species, because they can suddenly stop in the middle of they're going to do something horrible and just like squirrel, and then still do something horrible but tangent. Like Jimmy comes up to this homeless guy and he's coming, hey grandpa, and then as he gets closer he's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, that was incredibly disrespectful. I don't know your age, and the closer I get, I see you're not older. And even if you were old enough to be a grandfather, even the way I said it was disrespectful. Here, I am very sorry. And he's sorry. That was rude. And so I'm going to start again. I'm very, very sorry. Excuse me, sir. My girl over there on the bike, you see her? She's really hungry, and I'm taking her out for dinner tonight. Now, I don't know about you when you were younger, but whatever my girl wants, I try to get her. And she wants to eat you. There's just something about you that smells right, and I can bet that you are going to be delicious. And before the guy can really freak out from that, that's Jimmy just goes thump with a whammo into the guy's center of his chest. He goes staggering back. Generally, when you stagger, you try to lift your arms, and even if you don't, Jimmy's fast. So he grabs the guy's wrists as he's staggering back, and then pushes him so that he's going to fall. As he's going down, he plants I was going to say heel, but he plants his foot on his chest, rides him to the ground, and wham! A full body weight stomp on the guy's chest. That knocks all the breath out of him. That gives a shock to his heart. So while he's busy trying to breathe, while his heart is busy stuttering and skipping beats trying to get things back to normal, that's when Jimmy... Well, yeah, cryptids have limiters just like people do. If you try to go out and lift up a car, you're not going to be able to. If that car was up on a jack and one of your family members or a spouse or partner was underneath there and was caught and needed help, you'd be able to lift it up. You wouldn't get it over your head like Hulk, but you'd be able to lift it off the ground so that people can get them out of there. You would hurt yourself, but your limiters are off when you've got that much adrenaline. Same with cryptids. They can't just go lift up the end of a car because they want to. They have limiters so they don't hurt themselves, except when it comes to human beings. Just as cryptid teeth and claws pass through human flesh as if it's, well, a knife through jello, and cryptid teeth and cryptid teeth and claw goes through human bone like they're sugar cookies, so too do the limiters come off with things like human meat tearing. Because he just has to twist and pull, and tearing meat, the guy's arms are off. And then Jimmy gives them to Polly. Polly, well, she eats the first one like it's a spaghetti noodle, but the human cryptids are based on human beings as a template, with a lot of extra universal and cryptid parts to them, but they are based on human beings. So human beings can't normally swallow an arm from the torn shoulder part, but she crams it in and pulls it down, forcing it down her own throat. And it is a terrible sight to see and hear, but the enzymes and such within human fluids, well, the blood, it feels good. All that exertion feels good. But she gets it past the elbow, then can just swallow, and then, wow, the arm is gone. The other she bites and takes and chews, so it's gone in moments, but it takes longer because she has to bite, chew, swallow. The guy, of course, is still alive and watching this, and Jimmy is just watching her with a dreamy smile on his face. And before the guy on the ground dies from blood loss, it's just, isn't she the most beautiful beast? Isn't she the most amazing animal? Oh, my girl, I love her so much. And then they fall upon the guy and eat him while he's still alive, but he doesn't live much longer after that. So thumbs up, and I just thought I'd mention that because that was one of the few things I've been able to think about while I was at Walkies. And at the Walkies, 19 minutes. I hadn't even planned on going to Walmart last night, but I did. Things were going so late. Yesterday was not a good day because I was de-stressing. I had largely nothing in my head but just static, and I tried to do things, and it was in the late afternoon before I could even watch videos. So I watched videos at least until it was like 7 o'clock. I wasn't even planning on going walkies, but I just thought I'll go down to Safeway. And then that turned into, well, I'm going to go to Safeway. I might as well go to Walmart. And then walk to Walmart and back. Took like 2.5 hours, of course, but yay. So thumbs up on that. And I would like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons. These are beautiful and awesome people who are, in fact, beautiful and awesome. They help to keep me and my aging pet alive. Without their help, we would be hosed like literal Christmas monkeys, which, if you've ever studied the subject, that is the worst way for a monkey to be hosed. So, thank you, each and every one of these people that helps to save us both. And thank you, everybody who has donated to my GoFundMe or in the past has donated to my PayPal. It is appreciated. Thumbs up and thank you so very, very much. Now I'm going to turn off this spotlight because I'm going to go through and thank however many people have left me comments in the past 24 hours. It's never many anymore, but anything greater than 0 is awesome. Thumbs up and thank you. Oh, my tummy is upset and I didn't even eat anything but medicine. Maybe that's the problem, taking medicine on an empty stomach. Anyway though, if I mispronounce a username, no disrespect is intended, and even though I got an American Sign Language, it's largely for stemming purposes. I'm not paying attention to it even as I do it. JAYY, thumbs up, thank you, good to see you in the comics. And Nexor EH, I wish I had the wherewithal to keep up good comments and such. I tried it. I try. It's good to see you in the comments. Thumbs up. I'm going to send you an email. I promise. There is Colin Kraus. Greatly appreciated. Floramu. Thumbs up and good to see you. Made in Canada. I don't talk about things like evolution a lot, but I too am fascinated by various portions. Even though, this is a weird part, even though I know we and bonobos are the closest among our primate cousins, even though I know, like chimpanzees and all that are very close to us, we are members of the primate branch, I still have troubles when I watch some of these other videos where a person, his intro is, "Hello fellow apes." Yeah, we are apes. We're not even hairless apes. We have roughly the same amount of hair as gorillas, it's just a different type. But even though we are apes, I still kind of inside bristle at that. But then, that was my childhood. That's my childhood bristling. Back in the 60s and 70s, we didn't know anything. So we have People Boy, thumbs up, thank you much. There is User, greatly appreciated. Ninja Blade, thumbs up and thank you. There is Joker, here is hope and thank you very much. There is Big Chris, thumbs up, thank you very, very much. Zelos, it's actually good to see you in the comments. I have come to appreciate seeing your name there. We have AUSBUR, thumbs up, and that is it. Thumbs up and thank each and every one of you for having left me a comment. Get me out of my head, into the world, dealing with real people. It is appreciated to no end. With all of my various mental conditions, messed up genetics, just like the rest of the human race, I need to talk, but I don't know anyone anymore. And with my social anxiety, social withdrawal, and all that, right now I have no way to talk to people. So being able to talk to the camera, and thus in a parasocial manner with you, it really helps my brain function properly. Thank you very much if you have watched this far. Well, I got paperwork I gotta fill out today, because I gotta mail it tomorrow. So, hopefully you can get done the things that you want to get done, but if you can't, hey, survival is important. The gabapentin, That's the one thing I hate most about the gabapentin is the fact that it garbles my speech. Last night I was trying to talk out loud to myself and it was this just gibberish. I frickin' hate that. But I do like the nerve pain control. So, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is indeed a very good thing. And now that I don't know that, I have to turn this on so I can turn this off. But I still think that sounds fun. So, putting my hand in the high contrast position, since I am so white, I glow in the dark. Thumbs up for that. Yeah, so take care. It's Sunday morning here.